Shalom, Israel.
Yeah.
All right, it's bright and early. All praises to the Most High God. Well, it's early. It may not be bright, but it is early. So all praises to the Most High God. All right. No other place I'd rather be. Okay. So if you're tuning in today, all praises to the Lord. I'm Officer Baruch here in IUIC Tampa. Got my reader, Soldier John. All right. And all praises, all praises. So we're going to get into it today. All right. Today's lesson, we're going to go over the tribe of Reuben. Okay. The tribe of Reuben. All right. So he was the first born son of Jacob. And his name literally means, see, it's a son. All right. He is a son, firstborn son of Jacob. Now, the reason that we're going into Reuben is, there's a lot of history behind the tribe of Reuben that some of us know and some of us don't know. A lot of us, we think that, we're from the tribe of Judah. You actually might be Reuben. All right, yeah, okay, all praises. Some of you think you might be from the, tribes of Issachar, or you might be in the Bahamas and think you're Benjamin, but you might be Reuben. All right, so, this tribe thing that we got, all praises for it, it's all about faith. Right?
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, you too could be walking through the gates of Reuben.
Come on.
All right, of Reuben. Let me get my statement out first. He said, come on, I can't come on if I can't finish my statement. All right, so all praises to the Lord. All right, so this one is called the tribe of Reuben, cursed but unconquered. Okay, as we're going to see, the tribe of Reuben did go through the curses, and they're still going through the curses that all 12 tribes, all 12. Did you hear that? All 12 tribes went through. Okay, the rest of the 11 of the 12 tribes went through. Okay, the 12. All right, so all praises. Okay, they went through the same trials, the same curses, but at the end of the day, Esau was like, "Look, you know what? Let's put them on them reservations. All right, and let's leave them alone. All right, because these people here, they not like everybody else." All right, so all praises to the Most High God. Let's start out with Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. All right, the 12. Let's get it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Read it out.
Remember the days of old.
Do what?
Remember the days of old.
The reason we have history in the AM, the reason we have daily bread, the reason we have the classes that we have continually, back to back to back, we have biblical smoke, we have upload God's laws, we even got stuff in Spanish and Creole. But the reason that we have these is to do what?
Remember the days of old.
Remembering the days of old. That's important. Just like the Lord says, remember the Sabbath day. Remembering these things is what's going to help us to teach ourselves and teach our children in these last days so that we don't lose who we are. That's why our enemies, they hate to teach us the true history. They will not teach us the true history. They tell us who we were on the other side of slavery, but not who we were before slavery. This is why we have to remember. Read.
Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Right. So in order for us to show, we have to know. You understand? So we read through the scriptures, and we tie it through historical events. We tie it to, the history, the things that's happened to us, so that we can show it to our children and our children's children after us. Okay, read.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Right, and we ask our elders, and they're going to tell us. Okay, we have deacons, we have bishops. They have elders that have taught them. And guess what? We continually teach our children so that we can grow in these last days and not diminish. There's one, Psalms, I think it's 80, it just popped in my head, 86, and verse. Nope. Give me. Psalms 85 and verse 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 85 and verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
So the Lord said that truth is going to spring from the earth, okay? His truth is always going to be in the earth, okay? No matter which captivity we go through, no matter how hard Esau tries to compress and tries to get rid of the Israelite history, the Lord says it's just going to keep springing from the earth. It's like a leak. You know, you're trying to find where it's coming from, and it just won't stop. Well, that's how the truth is. it just won't stop. Okay? It's just you could tighten the bolts, you can tighten up the screws, you can do whatever you feel like you got to do. It's not going to stop.
That's right.
Read it again.
Book of Psalms, chapter 85 and verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
All right. So that is the word. Deuteronomy 6 and 7, but it's in Psalms. Deuteronomy 6 and 7 is great, but the one I'm looking for is in Psalms. So just read that for me. Let me try to find it.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Come on.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So the Lord said that we should teach these laws, statutes, and commandments, the things that we're remembering, to our children. Read.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
All right. So when we lie down, when we rise up throughout the day, we have to be talking about the laws of the Most High. We got to be talking about the history of our fathers, of our foremothers, all right, and the prophecy of the things that are to come, so that we can get our children together in these last days. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. We're talking about the tribe of Reuben, cursed but unconquered. There is yes, perfect. This is the one that I want. Let's look at a little bit of the history of what's called the Seminole Indians, okay? The tribe of Reuben are the Seminole Indians, or what they call the Seminole Indians, but the Lord calls them Reuben, okay? What you have right here, let's look at that a little bit, and then we'll get into the scriptures. Go ahead, read that.
The Seminole people emerged in the 18th century, Florida, from Creek migrants and indigenous Floridians, earning their name, meaning runaway or separatist.
Right. So the name Seminole literally means runaway or separatist. And we're going to see if that name is prophetic or talked about at all in the Bible as it relates to the so-called Seminole Indians, or what the Lord calls the tribe of Reuben. Keep reading.
As they moved south, often joined by escaped African slaves.
Wait. It said, as they moved south, often joined by escaped African slaves. So when I said that some of y'all may, Judah might think that they Judah, it might be Reuben. Okay? All right, we're not talking about the sandwich. All right, you might actually be from the tribe of Reuben. Keep reading.
Forming a unique culture in the Everglades.
Right. Okay, so, it's a unique culture in the Everglades. I've been through the Everglades. I saw a lot of reservations and things down there, too. And I didn't see nobody, but, I think that would be a phenomenal, I think it would be a phenomenal opportunity to go out there and maybe, talk to our brothers, talk to our sisters, and really see if we can come to a common understanding of our history and things like that, because the tribe of Reuben was known to take in a lot of Judah, okay, a lot of our brothers and sisters in the islands and things like that, and we had strong marriages together, okay, between Judah primarily and Reuben. Okay, so you never know. Lord willing, he'll open up the opportunity for us. Keep reading.
Their history is defined by resistance to the U.S. expansion, leading to the Seminole Wars.
Right. So in history, there were three major Seminole Wars. Okay. If we get the chance, we'll probably talk about maybe two of them today. And there were also leaders, black leaders, that were part of the Seminole people, okay, or the tribe of Reuben. Very dark people. Go ahead.
With a remnant group becoming known as the Unconquered people.
You see that? So cursed but unconquered, because there was a remnant that the government was like, look, there's nothing we could do. Just leave them be. Leave them alone. All right, go ahead.
For never signing a peace treaty. Today, they are federally recognized with communities in Florida and Oklahoma, maintaining distinct tribal nations.
All right, so they have tribal nations, and they're both in Florida and in Oklahoma, okay? So a lot of people, just thought that the Seminole Indians were in Florida only, but they are also in Oklahoma. They're in parts of Texas. They are also in Mexico and the Caribbean islands, all right? Okay, so is there any more on that? Go down a little bit. Let's read a little bit of that.
Origins and formation, 18th century. Creek migration. Groups from the Lower Creek Nation, Georgia, Alabama, migrated to Florida, finding refuge and better resources, joining ancient Florida peoples like the Calusa and Tequesta.
Very good. Go ahead.
Runaway people. The name Seminole likely comes from the Spanish cimarron, runaway, or Muskogee, Simanoli, separatist, reflecting their renegade status and isolation.
Reflecting the renegade status and isolation. Okay, so that's where the word Seminole comes from. All right, Seminole or Cimarron. Okay, so they get that word Seminole because they were on the flee, on the run. They were known as nomadic people, never in one place. Okay, go ahead.
Black Seminoles. They welcomed escaped slaves, forming strong alliances and creating a unique mixed race community known as Black Seminoles.
All right, and at the end, towards the end, we'll look at these Black Seminoles, okay? So these are two nations coming together, all right? And we're going to see that in these last days even more, okay? Judah and Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom of Israel, coming together again as the Lord said. All right. So I like that one. That's good on that. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 26. Okay. So after the after the reign of Solomon, you'll see that the kingdom started to split. Okay. The kingdom started to split between Judah, which is referred to as the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the northern kingdom, which is the rest of the tribes, including Dan, and also Reuben, okay? So we're going to read a little bit about that. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 26.
Come on.
Come on!
And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zeredah, Solomon's servant, whose mother was named Zeruah, a widow woman. Even he lifted up his hand against the king.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Milo and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. And the man, Jeroboam, was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man, that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all charge of the house of Joseph.
Right, the house of Joseph represents the northern kingdom. Keep reading.
And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahijah the Shilonite found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him, and rent it in 12 pieces.
So he took the garment, ripped it into 12 different pieces, okay? Now, a lot of things that happened that the prophets did were symbols and signs of prophecy which is to come, okay? Like, you have Ezekiel, you have Hosea. The Lord told our fathers, our forefathers, to do certain things, and it was always to represent a certain thing that would happen to the 12 tribes in the future. Whether it be, we would be in captivity. One tribe would be in the captivity for a certain amount of years. Another tribe would be in another certain captivity for another amount of years. He shaved his head and flew it or put it in the wind, and it scattered everywhere, representing the scattering of the 12 tribes of Israel. There's always signs that the Lord did for the 12 tribes of Israel so that we would know what is to come. Read.
Verse 31. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
Okay, go ahead.
But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen, out of all the tribes of Israel, because they have forsaken me, and have worshipped Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in mine eyes, to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all his days of his life, for David my servant's sake, whom I have chosen, because he kept my commandments and my statutes.
Come on.
But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes.
Right. I will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. Okay, so the northern kingdom tribes went after the house of Jeroboam. The southern kingdom tribes went after Rehoboam. Okay, so Jeroboam was over the house of Joseph. And the southern kingdom, again, was Benjamin, Judah, and Levi eventually came with Judah. Okay, read that last verse, 36.
Verse 36. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David, my servant, may have light always before me in Jerusalem.
Okay.
In the city which I have chosen to put my name there.
All right, Judah. All right. All praise. Good stuff. So that is the history of how the Lord prophesied that this split would come after Solomon, okay, from Rehoboam and Jeroboam, and after that, the 12 tribes scattered, okay, or were scattered. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 1, okay. Now, during that time, Northern Kingdom started to do heavy idolatry. It's true, John. It's true, okay. Northern Kingdom started to do heavy idolatry, and the king of Assyria, Salmanassar, took the children of the Northern Kingdom into captivity around 722 BC. Okay, let's read a little bit of that. 2 Kings 17.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 17 and verse 1.
Come on.
In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against him came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents.
Come on.
And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to So, king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
Come on.
Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria, and besieged it 3 years.
Right, so he went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years, okay? The Samaritans or Samaria is the representation, or we know as the Northern Kingdom. Keep reading.
In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria, took Samaria, and carried Israel away into Assyria.
And did what?
And carried Israel away into Assyria.
Okay, come on.
And placed them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes.
And in the cities of the Medes. Okay. So when we look at this history, we see that after the split, Northern Kingdom started going into idolatry, and Salmanassar took the Northern Kingdom tribes from Samaria and placed them in Assyria. Okay, placed them in Assyria. All right, now I want to get that YouTube video of 1492. Okay, we're going to go into a little bit of this type of history about, Columbus, and a little bit of history about how the Northern Kingdom tribes made their way over here. Now, for many of you all, this is just going to be a refresher, but for some of you, this might be new, and you might see some new information come out more in depth about the tribe of Reuben once they got here to America. Okay, so yeah, let's play that. So this is from the movie called 1492, A Conquest to Paradise. All right, you can find it on YouTube, Apple Movie, or something like that. Okay, go ahead.
Why did you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only two ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less.
All
the man
right.
you're about to confront.
So, how did Christopher Columbus and a lot of these conquerors like Ponce de Leon know about our brothers and sisters on this side? Was because they read through the prophecies. They read through our scriptures. They had a hold of them, and they were able to see how long it took to get to this new world, the route that was taken to get to this new world, and all they did was follow it. Okay, and once they got here to Hispaniola, to Cuba, to Puerto Rico, and certain places here in Florida, okay, they knew that there would be a people here. Okay, so let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 40.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 40.
So we're leaving off from the Assyrian captivity, and now we're moving through time into the Persian captivity, okay? Or, during the Persian captivity, which was in 536 BC. So we're leaving from Assyria, and during that time, in the Assyrian captivity, the Northern Kingdom tribes spoke amongst themselves that they would go into a different country, another country where they would keep the law of Moses, okay? The Lord gave us liberty under Persia, okay, and allowed us, what was it, Cyrus? Allowed us to be able to go back to Jerusalem or go into a place which they landed here in America, or so-called America, all right? But read that. Go ahead.
Those are the 10 tribes, which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. Okay, we're going to see what that country and never mankind dwelt. Because you got a lot of so-called apologetics and so-called Christians, and even some of our own people that say they love God are always talking about how the northern kingdom or the tribes of Issachar, Mexicans, and Native Americans, and whatever the case may be, are not the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, the Bible says that they are. They say that they don't go through the curses. Well, how did they get from Assyria into, how did they get from Jerusalem into Assyria? They were taken as slaves. They were on slave ships. Read that again. Verse 40.
Verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria, led away captive.
Watch this. Come on.
And he carried them over the waters.
How did he carry them over the waters? Was it on his back? Was it in a paper plane? Okay. How did he do it? It was on ships as slaves. You understand that? So, did the northern kingdom go on slave ships? Yes. You better stop playing with this Bible. All right, and stop playing with us. Put some respect on it. Right. Go ahead, read.
And so came they into another land.
Come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
Come on.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
So it says that the northern kingdom of Israel entered into the Euphrates. Okay, that's the location. Read.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood, till they were passed over.
Come on.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Right. So they went around Africa. Okay, we got this map. Yeah, bring that up. And we're going to look at the second half of it. Try to zoom in. You see where it says Hebrew migration? Yep, right down there. Perfecto. And zoom in just a little bit. So read that again.
Yes, sir. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So through that country took about a year and a half from Assyria. Okay, we went all the way down. Okay, and then why does it say 538? Because that's when the Persian, or between 536 and 538, is when Cyrus, the king of Persia, came up to rule and gave us liberty to say Gad abroad, but it's a joke. You get it? Because Gad? Okay. So, all right, to do what we had to do, okay? So we had to go around Africa, and we went into what's called South America, Central America, and North America. And we were dropping off along the way. All right, you'll see Madagascar on the other side of Africa, right there, okay? You'll see Port Elizabeth. You'll see South Africa. You see a lot of these different places. Not only were we taking as slaves there, but we were there when the French and the British and all of that came through. You know, they did some wicked and detestable things to us, but they didn't find anything. We were already there, okay? But so continue reading.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
And that same region is called Arsareth. Now remember, in the movie, he spoke about a new land, okay? Trying to find a new route. He knew exactly where he was going because the Bible gave him the direction, it gave him the land, and it gave him the distance, or at least the timeline that it took us to get to these places, okay? Scroll up. No. Up on the map. So when we're looking at it, you see the conquistadors coming over, all right? And these are the voyages. So the first voyage, second voyage, third and fourth voyage, they came to first Hispaniola, places like that, Santo Domingo. Then you look down, they came down to Arsarit, all right? And what is that, the third voyage? All right, so, you know, all of these things are documented. All of these things are history. And Esau tries to hide it, and they try to make it seem like it's not our history. It is our history, and the Bible describes it. Let's get the definition of, zoom out just a little bit so we can see what's going on here. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Go over to the left. You see where it says other left. Yep. It don't say nothing right there? I thought it did. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is look at what Arsarit means. Bring up the definition of Arsarit. Okay. So remember, it says, read verse 45 one more time.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Arsarit.
Arsarit, all right. What does Arsarit mean? Bring up that definition for me. Go ahead.
Arsarit, by Morris Jastrow.
And this is out of the Jewish Encyclopedia, okay? So they know this information. They just don't want you to know this information. Go ahead.
The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
In which what?
In which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
Come on.
Observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 4th Esdras 13 verse 45.
Yep.
Columbus identified America.
Wait, who?
Columbus identified America with this land.
Right. That's a bomb drop. There we go. So it said Columbus identified Arsarit, which the Bible says this region is called Arsarit. He identified America with this land. Now, what America? All right, what Americas? Well, North America, Central America, South America, the whole Americas, all right, was Arsarit. So when they got to these different places like Santo Domingo, Hispaniola, wherever the case may be, we were there, all right? So when he got there, he's like, oh, snaps, I knew it. These are the children of Israel, okay? Let's go to Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. We'll get a little deeper into the topic here, all right? We just had to set it up so that the people know that the Israelites, we're still here. We ain't going nowhere, all right? Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
That which shall befall you in the last days. Are we in the last days? Yes, we are. Let's get Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1 to prove it, 1 through 2. All right. Yes, we are in the last days, brothers and sisters. All right, if you haven't noticed. So our Father, he said, I'm going to show you the things that are going to befall you in the last days. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 1. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days.
Have what?
Hath in these last days.
Come on.
Spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heirs of all things.
Right. So as soon as Christ stepped on the scene, began the last days. You understand? So he says, I'm going to show you what's going to befall you in the time of Christ and after Christ. You understand that? The last days. Keep reading or go back to Genesis 49, verse 1. So we're talking about the tribe of Reuben. Genesis 49 and 1.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Come on.
Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
Verse 3.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength.
Right. So, as the tradition stands, the firstborn was the strength of the father. Okay. He represented the might, and he would get a lot of the inheritance and things that came with the firstborn son. So Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, was the might and the beginning of his strength. Okay. Keep reading.
The excellency of dignity.
Now, it says the excellency of dignity. Okay. When you look at Reuben, or you look at the tribe of Reuben, which is the Seminole Indians, that dignity is what's going into their character. All right. They were a dignified people, very strong, very, very, how do I say that their bonds between the tribe of Reuben was very, very hard to break. When we looked at the history on how Reuben took in a lot of the runaway slaves, that's pretty dignified. Okay. That is a lot of character that they have and they had for the 12 tribes or for the southern kingdom of Israel. Okay. They possessed a lot of noble qualities and within their dress code as well. So the excellency of dignity. Bring up the picture of the Reubenite with the meat tree. Okay, the excellency of dignity. So not only was it talking about their characteristics, but it was also talking about the dress code. When you look at the tribe of Reuben, they dress a lot different than the tribes of Gad, the Cherokee Indians, the Blackfoots, and things like that. The tribe of Gad had more, the headpiece with the feathers and the war helmets and things like that. But Reuben was a little bit different. Bring that up. Read that.
A portrait of a Seminole Indian, Reuben wearing a meat tree. Seminole warriors of Florida evaded and punished United States troops. As opposite in 3 conflicts from the 1817 to 1858 wars that they won in the field but lost at the negotiating table. Effective guerrilla actions was the Seminole specialty. Their leaders, Osceola, was subsequently seized in violation of a truce.
So effective guerrilla action goes into how they fought. All right, their guerrilla warfare. Remember, he said the strength and might would be upon the tribe of Reuben, his firstborn son. So they were very good at guerrilla warfare, and they stood up to the government. So much so that even when Ponce de Leon came over, he was shot and killed with a poisonous dart, all right, venomous dart, by the tribe of Reuben. They didn't play any games, okay? Read that again where it says their leader.
Their leader, Osceola, was subsequently seized in violation of a truce and died in prison. Only a few days after, George Catlin had painted his portrait, left in 1837.
Right. So when you look at the tribe of Reuben, they wasn't messing around. They didn't sign any of these peace treaties. I mean, they did one, but this is the one that they broke. They signed one, and they broke it. And they like, hey, man, we could break 1,000 treaties. Who are you to break one? You understand? So the tribe of Reuben, they wasn't about that. Oh no, they were about that, but they weren't about that the bowing down to Esau. It wasn't about that business. You understand? They was about the Lord's business because that one was loud. At one point, they wanted to keep the customs and the laws of Israel. And so going back to the mitri, when they wore these mitris, it was a sign of nobility. It was a sign of honor for who they are. You know, they stood with dignity, and they understood that they were to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Because when you look at the history of Israel, only the Levites, which were the priests of Israel, will wear mitris. But on this side, you had Gad, which were the lawgivers on this side. But when you look at the nobility and the strength and power, that went to the tribe of Reuben. So they held themselves with such nobility and honor. Okay. Now, read verse 3 one more time.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power.
Right. Excellency of dignity is another thing. Okay. Let's go into the marriages that I gave you. Okay. The excellency of dignity. They are a dignified people. We read about the tribe of Reuben bringing in the runaway slaves from the south, black slaves, and now they married them within the tribe of Reuben. Okay, so if you marry a Reubenite woman and you are from the tribe of Judah, the child that you have is going to be the tribe of Judah. Okay, so a lot of these marriages took place. All right, so zoom out just a little bit and let them read that.
This picture was taken from the book entitled After Columbus, The Smithsonian, Chronicle of the North American Indians by Herman J. Viola. Escaped slaves found refuge with these southern Indians and often married into the tribe. Below, black Seminoles appear in festive wedding dress.
All right, you see that? So black Seminoles appear in festive wedding dress. So she was from the tribe of Reuben, and he was from the tribe of Judah. All right, that brother fly. You know, I know a soldier. He dressed like that. All right. All right, but yeah, all praises. Okay, so it said the excellency of dignity. They would bring us in and say, "No, we're not gonna do y'all like Issachar did y'all." You know, ooh, we're not gonna do y'all like that. All right, we gonna make sure that we come together and we take care of y'all. We're going to bond together. I like that. All right. Read verse 3 one more time, and then we'll go to verse 4.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water.
So it says unstable as water. This is where they get the name Seminole or Seminole, right? Or Cimarron, right? From. Because the Lord said they are unstable as water, meaning they would always be on the go. They would be considered runaways, or they were nomadic people always moving around from one place to the other, and Esau couldn't catch up with them. Esau couldn't capture. Esau is like, they're runaways. You understand? So when you got the runaway slaves and you got the runaways coming together, that's an excellency of power right there. That's might. That's strength. You understand? So that's where that name comes from. But it was already prophesied here in verse 4, where the Lord says that they are unstable as water. That means that they would become what's called today the Seminoles, or the Seminole runaway Indians, for lack of a better term. All right, keep reading.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
Now, it says unstable as water, but then he says thou shalt not excel. It says he is the excellency of strength, might, and power, but he wouldn't excel. What does that mean? Well, let's go to Genesis chapter 35 and verse 22. Okay. Yep. Genesis chapter 35 and verse 22. So the excel goes into the part of Reuben's birthright as a firstborn being taken away from him for sleeping with his father's concubines. All right, so that right was stripped from him and given to the children of Joseph. But read that for me.
The book of Genesis, chapter 35 and verse 22.
Come on.
And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12.
All right, so he laid with Jacob, our father's concubine, and everybody heard of it. And now we go to 1 Chronicles chapter 5 and verse 1. All right, so the birthright of Reuben was taken, even though he was the firstborn, and he was the excellency of strength and power, it was still taken from him. Okay, go ahead.
The book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel.
Okay.
And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright.
You see that? So he's not to be reckoned. That's why it says that, go back to Genesis 49 and verse 4.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 4. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
That's what it's going into, okay? Not excel, and you will not get the firstborn. You will not get the rights or the inheritance of the firstborn. You're not going to excel as the firstborn. You're not going to prosper there. That is going to be given to the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh, okay? Go ahead.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, and defouledest thou it. He went up to my couch.
Okay, he went up to my couch. Okay. Now, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 6. Now, what we're talking about still is the tribe of Reuben. We're looking at how our father, Israel, Jacob, he said, come around, and I'm going to tell you the things that are going to befall you in the last days. All right, so when it came to the tribe of Reuben, he gave their characteristics. Okay, he's given the outline of how Reuben would hold themselves up in dignity and pride and power, strength. In history, it shows that. And as we go, as we get further into this lesson, we're going to see a little bit more about the tribe of Reuben as well. Okay, come on.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
All right, so it says, let Reuben live and not die. Well, when you look at it, Reuben, among all the 12 tribes, Esau says that Reuben were the hardest people to fight, okay? They were the hardest people to conquer or try to conquer. They were the hardest people to try to go into war with. When you look at, we're going to look at a little bit, but the Seminole Wars, they've had 3 on record so far that we know of. Right now, there were little bouts between that, but even within those, Esau was never really able to conquer the tribe of Reuben. Read it one more time.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
All right. So when it says that let not his men be few, it was because under the Indian Removal Act, I don't know if, did I send you guys anything on that? The Indian Removal Act. Let me see. Under Andrew Jackson, nothing? Okay. All right. So the Indian Removal Act was, let me see, when Andrew Jackson, he ignored the Supreme Court ruling that the Indians would remain in their land in the United States, and he led the campaign on the Indian Removal Act, which was enforced by the gun. So this is where you have, you know, a lot of ammunition. You have the Gatling gun. You have a lot of these things that was the same was used on Gad. It was same was used on, which is the same that was used on Reuben as well. Okay. Now, read that verse one more time.
Let Reuben live and not die.
And not die. Why? Because under the Indian Removal Act, they had weapons that the tribe of Reuben didn't have. They had technology and things like that, advancements that Reuben didn't have. So let him not die, meaning that the Lord wouldn't totally and utterly destroy all the men of the tribe of Reuben. Okay, so yes, the tribe of Reuben is still here. Yes, the tribe of Reuben is expanding. And yes, a lot of you so-called Judites, which you think you are actually from the tribe of Reuben. All right. Now, I can't look at you and say that you're a Reubenite. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But because of those marriages and that dignity that we have, or they had, I'm not Reuben. I'm Judah. I might be Reuben. I don't know. All right, which means you, Judah, might be Reuben. But all praises to the Lord. As long as we one of the 12 tribes, we all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. So read that verse one more time for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Let Reuben live and not die,
Mm-hmm.
and let not his men be few.
And let not his men be few, meaning the Lord wouldn't allow them, even though Andrew Jackson, the red devil, the troop, came against them and came against Gad, he wouldn't utterly destroy all the men of the tribe of Reuben so that they can reproduce and they can become stronger. Okay. Now, there's a book called, The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Can we bring that up? I'm going to read a little bit of that. All right, so this is The Lost Tribes and the Promised Lands, The Origin of American Racism by Ronald Sanders. All right, let's go to page 364. Yeah. So, read. All right. You see where it says, blessed be the name. We're going to skip around a little bit. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Read that.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. Can you zoom in a little bit? Blessed be the name of the Lord, who has not made me an idolater, a barbarian, a Negro, an Indian, when suddenly he be stopped. Those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews.
They are what?
They are Hebrews.
Right. So those Indians are Hebrews, okay? We're going to look at the story of Antonio Montezino, all right? He was a Spanish explorer that when they went through these certain places, they came upon the Hebrews, or what they call the Indians, which we are going over today, the tribe of Reuben. They also, you'll see in this book, it talks about Ephraim, Manasseh, the children of Joseph. Scroll down a little bit. Okay. Read where it says eventually.
Eventually, a canoe appeared, bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema, Yisrael, Adonai Elohiu, Adonai Ehod. Hearing, O Israel, Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited in Hebrew.
They had recited this in Hebrew. Okay. So when this Spanish explorer got here, all right, they saw that our people that were already here spoke their native tongue, which is Hebrew. Okay. Which means that they are of the tribes of Israel. So what are these so-called Christians talking about? What are these apolopathetics talking about? Okay. This is the history that our children have to know and understand. This is why it says, remember the days of old. Teach them to their children. You understand? Go back to the book. Don't lose it, please. Zoom in and yep, we're gonna start off where we left. Yep. All right, bring that up. Start off where it says a brief conversation. No. Where it says they had recited in Hebrew.
Yes, sir. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamentals credo of Judaism. A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montesinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as is that of his three mysterious new companions.
Now watch this. Come on.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
Boom. All right. So they told Montesinos themselves that they are of the tribe of Reuben. You understand? They are of the tribe of Reuben. That's a beautiful thing because what? Reuben originally spoke Hebrew. Read that next line where it says themselves are the tribe of Reuben. Go ahead.
Themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
What's the island nearby? Okay, you got Ephraim right next door. Where is that? Puerto Rico. You got all the islands over there. All right, Cuba. You got Haiti. All right, Hispaniola. You got all of our brothers on islands that are nearby. All right, so this is why we have to go over this history so that our people can understand that you are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. We didn't write these books, people, okay? We weren't there. This is them writing to each other, and then they didn't think we would ever read, but we can read now. You understand? We can read. The Lord has opened our eyes and allowed the truth to spring from the earth, and you can't
That's
stop it.
right.
You can't stop it. You understand, all right? Go to the next one. I think it's page 3. Yep, 65. Go up. Let's start with his ancestors.
His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made wars on them and persecuted them.
Come on.
Only the sorcerers of the tribe of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people, and had given warning that they should be left alone.
So when the Jesuit priests and all of these Spanish explorers came over, they're like, "Hey, what I've gathered from this is these are special people." Okay, they knew who we were, right? Even among Reuben, trying to tell them like, "Look, we the tribes of Israel. You understand? We come from the tribe of Reuben. Our brothers are nearby. You have to understand that when you come against the tribes of Israel, even though we're under the curses, it's never going to pan out good for you." All right? And that's what he's trying to tell them. Read.
The God of these children of Israel is the true God. They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true. At the end of the days, they will be lords of all nations.
That's right. Come on.
Of the earth. One nation will come, bringing many things to his land, to this land. And after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth, as they once did. With this final flourish, Montesinos had turned his tale of the lost tribes into a bit of propaganda for the Dutch conquest of Brazil at that same time.
All right. So the Dutch conquest of Brazil at that same time. Now, what's heavy is where it says one nation will come bringing many things to this land, and after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth as they once did. Now, how would the nation of, or the tribe of Reuben know who they are. How would they wake up in these last days to know that they're the tribe of Reuben? It's from the tribe of Judah. All right. The tribe of Judah is the tribe that would come over and that would bring many things to this land and show them that they are from the tribes of Israel. I'm going to show you that real quick. Go to Genesis 49 and verse, or is it Deuteronomy 33? Hold on. The brethren shall praise. Start at verse 8.
Genesis chapter 49 and verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Read.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
So we would be close to our enemies, choking out the lies in the fight. That's how you know, you can say whatever you want to. Judah's here, Judah's there. No, Judah would be in the very proximity of our enemies here in Esau, Babylon, the great land. Read.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee in honor, because Judah has always and will always put our neck on the line first for our people. That's how the tribe of Reuben is waking up, okay? Go to Deuteronomy 33 and verse 7. Verse 6. Watch this.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few.
Okay, don't kill all the tribe of Reuben. Leave the men so that they can reproduce and they won't be diminished in these last days. But read the next verse. Come on.
Verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Come on.
And bring him unto his people.
Do what?
Bring him unto his people.
Who is the people that the Lord brought the tribe of Judah to? It's the tribe of Reuben. The Lord brought Judah to the tribe of Reuben to wake them up, especially in these last days, because 12,000 of the 144,000 is going to come from the tribe of Reuben. Okay? That's heavy. All right, now, you may not know that you're from the tribe of Reuben. You might think you Judah, and you part of that 12,000, and then you be like, hey, all right, you over on the Reuben side. Be like, oh, snaps. All right, hey, all praises. All right, keep reading.
Hear the Lord, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Mm-hmm. Let his hands be sufficient for him, mm-hmm. and be thou an help to him from his enemies.
And be thou a help to him from his enemies. You understand why? Because Judah has many, many enemies, even among our own people. But guess what? Even amongst, with all of that hatred and with all of that murder and COINTELPRO and all of the spying and massacres and all of the apartheid, and Judah's still going to wake up the rest of the tribes of Israel, because truth will spring from the earth. Okay? Yeah. All right. You could drop that. Let's go to the next article.
What is the historical context in which they emerged? What legacy did they leave behind to future generations? All these questions and more will be addressed in this video. The Seminole Native Americans are a tribe that originally inhabited Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and South Carolina. They are a complex mix of different indigenous peoples, including Creek, Miccosukee, and Hitchiti. The name Seminole means runaway or separatist and refers to the tribe's history of resisting colonization and forced relocation. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the Seminole people were heavily impacted by the colonization of Florida by the Spanish and British, as well as by American expansionism. In the early 19th century, the United States government attempted to remove the Seminole people from Florida, which was seen as desirable territory for American settlers. This led to the First Seminole War in 1817 and 1818, which resulted in a stalemate between the Seminole and American forces. The
All right,
second
hold that.
Seminole.
Now, it said it was a stalemate. They got horses, they got all type of weapons, cavalry. They got a lot. And the Lord said, "Look, this is the excellency of my power. You tripping. You coming against the wrong tribe. You might get away with it with Gad or Issachar or Judah. But Reuben, you got another thing coming." All right. The Lord said that it was a stalemate. And then there was a second war. All right, go ahead and play.
War, which lasted from 1835 to 1842, was a more significant conflict that saw the Seminole people engage in guerrilla warfare against the United States Army.
Pause that.
Despite
So this one, the second war, was a 7-year war between the tribe of Reuben and the United States. Okay, Esau, the government. Okay, we talking about the world government. Okay, we ain't just talking about a little army. Okay, this was the major army of the world going against one tribe. You understand that? And it lasted for 7 years. That's heavy. So our people, because of the excellency of our power and the dignity and strength and the might that we had in the tribe of Reuben, you understand? The Lord said, I'm going to make y'all so powerful. I'm going to give y'all war tactics. And now today, Esau calls it guerrilla warfare. Okay? This is the same type of tactics that the Vietnamese had during the Vietnam War. Right? America was like, look, we can't, we don't know what to do here. If we can see you, we can get you. If we can't see you, and we can't get you. You understand? So that's how the tribe of Reuben was. Okay? Mighty men that hung out with David. They were David's mighty men. They were at war with the king. They kept this within them, and they had those attributes here on this side of the Arsarit, the New World. Okay, keep playing.
Seminole victories, American forces ultimately prevailed, and the Seminole people were forcibly removed from Florida and relocated to Indian Territory in present-day Oklahoma. Many Seminole resisted relocation and instead fled to the Everglades in southern Florida, where they continued to live in isolation. Today, the Seminole tribe of Florida is a federally recognized Native American tribe that operates several successful businesses, including the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino chain.
Pause that. So the Seminole, or the tribe of Reuben, they have a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs here, and they're federally known or recognized. And they have the Seminole Hard Rock, all right here in Tampa. All right, they have I don't know, they have other ones. Seminole Hard Rock, okay, hotels all throughout Florida, all right, but I know the one right down the street, not, in Tampa. So we actually did a flyer mission there, and we got kicked out. All right, so you got to wake up, Reuben. Help us out.
That's right.
So they're in the Everglades. We did a tabernacles one time. We were coming through the Everglades, and I was like, oh, snaps. I saw a lot of the entrances to the reservations and things like that. So Lord willing, one day we'll be able to get out there. All right, finish that out.
The tribe has also invested in environmental conservation efforts and works to preserve its unique cultural heritage. The Seminole people continue to face challenges related to land rights, cultural preservation, and political representation, but they have persevered and maintained a strong sense of identity and community. Thank you for watching 2 Minute History.
That's it right there, okay? So that was good. That was good. So you get a little bit more background and knowledge on the tribe of Reuben, okay? We're almost done. We're finishing up. Give me some more. I want that other one where, if y'all can, give me black Seminoles, and then we're going to finish with that other YouTube video. And if y'all can, skip around on that one. I gave y'all some time markers. So remember we talked about black Seminoles and how Reuben intermingled with runaway slaves and things like that, and they became what's called Black Seminoles. All right, read a little bit of that.
Black Seminole redirects here for the Lil Yachty song. See Black Seminole.
Right. So I never heard that song. All right, but apparently Lil Yachty has a song called Black Seminole. All right, but keep reading.
The Black Seminoles, or Afro Seminoles, are an ethnic group of mixed Native Americans and African origin, associated with the Seminole people in Florida and Oklahoma. They are mostly blood descendants of the Seminole people.
Right, so those blood descendants of the Seminole people are the tribe of Reuben, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Keep reading.
Free Africans and escaped former slaves who allied with Seminole groups in Spanish Florida. Their history includes a continuous struggle against invasion.
Like who? Like Ponce de Leon. We didn't go into that today, which we might, but I want to leave some stuff on the table so we can continue to come back, okay? About this, right? Last time we covered the tribe of Issachar and how the Texas Rangers, the devils that they are, came against them. We might go into Ponce de Leon maybe on the next one, things like that, if the Lord, allow and bless. Go ahead.
Against invasion and enslavement, while preserving their distinct culture and reconnecting with their relatives throughout the African diaspora. Many have Seminole lineage, but due to stigma and having mixed origin, they have all been categorized as slaves or freedom men in the
freedmen in the past. You see that? So a lot of the government says that they're slaves, or they just call them freedmen, right? But they all, not all, but a lot of them were actually from the tribe of Reuben, right? And freedmen was a big thing when it came to last names. That was the last name for a lot of free slaves, or slaves that, were freeborn or didn't, go under captivity. They were called freedmen. All right, I knew a freedman. All right, keep reading.
Historically, the Black Seminoles lived mostly in distinct bands near the Native American Seminoles. Some were held as slaves, particularly of Seminole leaders, but the Black Seminoles had more freedom than did slaves held by whites in the South and by other Native American tribes, including the right to bear arms. Today, Black Seminole descendants live primarily in rural communities around the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma.
All right, so you got a lot of the tribe of Reuben in Oklahoma. Keep going.
Its two freedmen bands, the Caesar Bruner Band and the Dosar Barkus Band, are represented on the General Council of the nation. Other centers are in Florida.
They're in Florida.
Texas.
They're in Texas.
The Bahamas.
The Bahamas.
And northern Mexico.
All right. This is heavy. All right. This is where you see a lot of our brothers and sisters from the tribe of Reuben in these places. Okay. Finish that out real quick.
Their culture is a blending of African, Gula, Seminole, Mexican, Caribbean, and European traditions.
That's heavy. Go to click on the Bahamas. I was looking at this the other day. All right, so a lot of the Seminole or the Black Seminoles, they speak Creole, they speak Spanish, they speak French. All right, so it says the Bahamas here. All right, there was one place, it was called Andros or something like that. And we do have brothers and sisters over there. All right, you got Carousel, you got Turks and Caicos. You got, I was looking at something else. Oh, Nassau. Okay, you got a lot of our people that's over there, and they, some of them they think they're Benjamin, but some of y'all are Reuben. All right, go back. That was pretty cool. Pretty good stuff. Go to northern Mexico, or go to Mexico. Boom. All right, cool. Anyway. So that's what it's going into, all right? A lot of our brothers and sisters are there, all right? Can we pull up that last YouTube video? The last one on who are the Black Seminoles. Yeah, and then we can move around with the timeline, right? Okay, go ahead. That look like a YN. That's a Seminole YN right there. All right, bring that up. We'll start there. That's cool. I just wanted to show that right quick. All right, you can go to 116.
Imagine 18th century Florida, a land of vast swamps and untamed wilderness. In this backdrop, the story of the Seminole and African Americans began to take shape. The Seminole, emerging from the Creek Confederacy, derived their unique name from the Creek term Cimarron. Interestingly, this term might have its roots in the Spanish word cimarron, which paints images of the runaway or the wild. As the oppressive chains of slavery tightened, many African slaves, fueled by a deep yearning for freedom, ventured into the depths of Florida. Their journey, filled with hope and peril, led them to the Seminole. These brave individuals, soon known as the Black Seminoles, found more than just refuge among the Seminole. They found a community, a sense of belonging, and a shared purpose. As seasons changed and years rolled on, they wove their destinies with the Seminole, becoming an inseparable thread in the Seminoles' vibrant cultural tapestry. But this narrative isn't just about two cultures coming together. It's a powerful testament to resistance, unity, and shared aspirations.
All right, stop right there.
Bound by mutual respect and common challenges,
shared aspirations, okay, and go to 344. That's where it said the excellency of dignity. All right, they were a dignified people. They took the tribe of Judah in, and we had community, we had strength, power in numbers, and in unity. All right, we had 344. Go ahead.
However, the shadow of the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793 loomed large. This act, a tool for slave owners, threatened the newfound freedom of the Black Seminoles. It allowed for the recapture of runaway slaves across state lines, making the position of the Black Seminoles even more
So remember this, Fugitive Slave Act of 1793 allowed for recaptured and return of runaway slaves across state lines. All right, this is what America has done and will continue to do. Watch, when Jacob's trouble starts, they're going to start another Fugitive Slave Act, right? When the word starts going out more, we trying to, escape and do all, they're going to have these things, all right? The scripture says there is no new thing under the sun. Keep reading, or play that.
General Andrew Jackson, with ambitions of expansion, led U.S. forces deep into Seminole territory. His forces, with ruthless efficiency, scattered the villagers, razed their towns, and even seized Spanish territories. This aggressive stance forced Spain to cede its Florida territory to the U.S. But for the Black Seminoles, this meant a potential return to the chains of slavery. Jackson's motivations went beyond mere territorial gains. It was a clear message to both the Seminoles and the Black Seminoles. Their freedom and sovereignty were seen as threats to the expanding American nation. The culmination of the First Seminole War saw the U.S. firmly in control of Florida. The Seminoles were pushed further south, and many Black Seminoles faced the grim prospect of being returned to slavery. This war, while a tactical victory for the U.S., sowed the seeds of resistance that would sprout in the years to come.
All right, go to 644. So you look at the First Seminole War, which was 1817 to 1818. Within that, you had the Fugitive Slave Act, all right, which was any slaves that were trying to flee, you put an action in place to return them back to their captors, okay? And Reuben wasn't having that, all right? They said, no, these are our brothers. We're going to fight. And guess what? We fought with the tribe of Reuben, all right, to hold strong. All right, give me that last one, 644. We're going to look at John Horse. Who is John Horse?
Among the Black Seminoles, John Horse, also known as Juan Caballo, emerged as a formidable leader. His military acumen and charismatic leadership were evident in several key battles, including the significant Battle of Lake Okeechobee. John Horse's leadership was instrumental in bolstering the Seminole resistance and keeping the dream of freedom alive for the Black Seminoles. slavery as an institution cast a long shadow over the Second Seminole War. The U.S. government's objectives weren't limited to the removal of the Seminoles. They were also intent on reclaiming runaway slaves. This dual objective made the Black Seminoles both valuable allies and prime targets. Their very existence and freedom posed a direct challenge to the institution of slavery. The Second Seminole War, which concluded in 1842, was a costly endeavor for the U.S. government. While most of the Seminoles, including the Black Seminoles, were forcibly relocated to Indian Territory, a resilient few remained in Florida, taking refuge in the Everglades. The war's aftermath left an indelible...
There we go. There we go. All right, that's some heavy stuff right there. Okay, that is some heavy stuff. So we got John Horse. John Horse is a revolutionary, and he comes from the tribe of Reuben. Okay, or he may be from the tribe of Judah, but he helped Reuben. All right, he helped Reuben as Reuben helped Judah, and we fought together. So, you know, America and the troops were trying to destroy the tribe of Reuben to capture and capture slaves in the tribe of Judah. And Reuben's like, look, I don't care how much you try to destroy us, we not letting them go. We are one with them, and they're one with us. They might be the reason you here, but guess what? You ain't taking them with you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's some good stuff right there. Very good stuff. Let's finish up with Psalm chapter 55 and verse 20.
Come on.
Got two chain of scriptures, and then we're done. Psalm chapter 55 and verse 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20.
Come on.
Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O God, shall bring them down into the pit of destruction.
Right. He's going to bring our enemies down into the pit of destruction. And he's never going to allow his righteous to be moved to the point where we're totally destroyed. That's how the tribe of Reuben was, right? The Lord didn't allow them to be killed all the way off. But now in these last days, they're going to start waking up. Read.
Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their lives, but I will trust in thee.
Did we start at verse 20? Start 55 and verse 20.
Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
Right. That's how Esau was with the tribe of Reuben. They made peace treaties and they broke the covenants. Guess what? Reuben was like, you going to do it? We going to do it too. All right. You can sign as many as you want to. We ain't keeping that. We ain't signing that. All right. And when they did sign their one, they broke it. The tribe of Reuben. Keep reading.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Come on.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
And Reuben knew these, that the America their words were smoother than butter, and they knew that America had war within their heart, so they never trusted him. Keep reading.
Cast thy burden upon the Lord.
So we have to cast our burden upon the Lord. You Seminole Indians there in Oklahoma and here in Florida, all right, we have to understand that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. In the Bahamas and Mexico, read.
And he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
All right, give me Psalms 50 and verse 20. All right, we're almost done here. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 50 and verse 20. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son.
Who was the ones that slander us? Well, it's our brother, Esau. We are twins, all right, fraternal twins. And they slander us all the day long. They say that we're not the children of Israel. But what we went over today, we just learned that the Seminole Indians are the tribe of Reuben, and they descend from the tribe of Israel. Read. Or the nation of Israel, the tribe of Reuben. Read.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself.
So even when they had the first Seminole War, the second Seminole War, the third Seminole War, the Indian Removal Act, and the Slave Fugitive Act, and all of that stuff, they thought that the Lord was on their side because he didn't say anything, because he didn't destroy them. But the Lord had a purpose behind that. Come on.
But I will reprove thee.
I will what?
I will reprove
I'm
thee.
going to correct you. Read.
And set them in order before thine eyes.
So, because there has to be 12,000 sealed, or the 12,000 of the 144,000 from the tribe of Reuben, guess what? Reuben in these last days are going to have to know who they are, and they're going to be set in order before the enemies of God, right in their very face. And Judah is leading that charge. You understand?
That's
so the tribe of Reuben is going to wake up in these last days. Keep reading.
Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver.
Come on.
Whoso offereth praise glorifieth me.
Come on.
And to him that ordereth his conversation aright will I show the salvation of God.
So it's time for you Reubenites, you Seminole Indians, to order your conversation aright so that he can show you the salvation of God. You understand that? And we get it through the faith of Christ and the keeping of God's commandments. It's time to wake up. All right? It is time to wake up and come back to your nationality and who you really are. All right, so that was today's lesson, the tribe of Reuben, cursed but unconquered. Lord willing, you got something out of that. Lord willing, when we do this again, we'll go a little bit deeper into Ponce de Leon and other, type of things. But that was it for today. All right.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.